everyone and welcome to a new video. As you read the title for this is a little bit of a reflection slash chatting video about my book buying and about what I want to do for the future and announcing the Unhaul project. So we're going to try to take one thing at a time, but I also might be a mess in this. So literally what happened is that a week ago, when I'm filming this, I had this realization that I'm not going to be able to own all the books in the world. This sounds really, really stupid. It sounds like very, very stupid because obviously that's an obvious thing unless I get like a castle and I'm like a millionaire and I can like keep this castle like up there, or like a mansion and every single room is a bookshelf thing. I'm not going to be able to keep every book I read and every book I want to keep, maybe. A definition of want, we will talk about that later. But basically, I won't be able to keep all the books I want because eventually, even though I have a lot of space now, but eventually I will run out of space because space is not limitless, apparently. And everyone is like, Sandra, this is obvious. You haven't thought about this before. I just avoided thinking about it. And now I have come to the realization that I won't be able to keep all the books I want. For many years, I have said that I always want to own all the books I read physically because I like to look at the books I read. I like to look at them and I feel like trophies. Oh my god, I've read all of these books. People ask me then like, how many books have you read that you own? I'm like, blah, 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 number, huge number. It sounds really cool. But I realized that's not possible. Like, unless you read like nothing. I realized now that that is not a thing that is needed. Like, I don't need to own like these 100 books that I rated 1 star 25 years ago. Because as I get older now, I realize that life is really long. Like, I'm 26 right now. Life is really long. I read 400 books last year. I'm not saying I will read 400 books every year of my life. But if I read around 100 books every year for the rest of my life, that's a lot of books that eventually will just build up. Like, if I live till I'm 70 or something, that's a lot of books. I haven't even done the math, but that's a lot of books. And it's not possible to keep all that unless, again, I have a mansion. I don't have a mansion. I don't think I will have a mansion. So we are just going with that I do not have a mansion thought here. And I realized that I don't need to own all the books I read. I feel like I wanted them as trophies, or like I wanted to have a huge book collection. But I realized that I can have a huge book collection, but I don't need to own all the books I read. That's two different things now. I wanted to own all the books I read, and I wanted a huge book collection, but I'm gonna have a huge book collection, just not own all the things I read. Which means that we're going into the next part where I need to start unhauling more. And I said for a long time that I don't do unhauls. I don't unhaul, I keep everything. And I said that for a long, long time. Videos and sprints to my friends, to my family, because I was like, why would I get rid of books? I spent money on it. Duh. But it's like, you can also think about it in another way. Just because you buy a pair of socks and then you use the socks and there are holes in them, you wouldn't keep your socks forever because you use them. They're done. And yes, I spent a lot of money on the books, but I also realized that my books can go to better places, like a library, and make other people happy. And I'm fine with that now. I wasn't fine with that, but I started to get more fine with that last year. I unhauled my first unhauls last year where I got rid of like a lot of Norwegian books I just kept for a really long time that I go for free I had no interest in. And I'm like, I was proud of myself then. And I was like, but I'm not going to start unhauling like English books. Well, look at me now. Because again, I realized I don't have space. All of this means that I will more frequently unhaul, and I would try, emphasis on try, to not just buy everything I see. I'm very good at, oh my god, that sounds good, and then buy it. And obviously, that is on one side very good because that makes me find new things and be like, oh my god, I actually really love that. I'm so glad about it. Because how else would I know? But on another side, that also makes me end up with a lot of books maybe that I don't want to keep, but then I just keep on to them for a long time. So maybe I obviously should be allowed to buy random books here and there, but I also need to be a bit better at realizing that I don't need to keep it just because I bought it. So again, 2 things I need to be better at. This is my character development. This is me getting better. I want to obviously still be able to impulse buy here and there, but I want to also be able to tell myself it's okay if you don't keep this book. So how to go about this is that I want to try to use my library more, but the problem is that I live in Norway and we don't really have a lot of English books in the library that I'm interested in. Like if I search for most titles, like a lot of titles that I have on my shelves, they do not have it in my library. Obviously they have the most like popular ones, but most likely I already own those. But also I can order from other libraries in Norway, so they might have it, that will help. I also have like Everand, where you like have a lot of ebooks there, and I also like make use of another like library, digital library as well. And I want to be able to use those things to maybe read a book and then find out if I actually want to actually buy it, if I actually really enjoy it. Also, obviously, use my Kindle, but I have this thing where I don't like to buy the Kindle on full price, and then if I really like the book, I need to buy it again, because then I feel like I use more money than just buying the like book physically at once, but then their whole space things comes in. So I want to be able to maybe be better at buying the Kindle edition if it's a book that I'm very unsure about. Like, if it's a book like I heard about a lot of things, oh my god, the Kindle is $6, I should buy the Kindle, and then if I really love it, I can buy that and the rest of the series. But now I would have just bought it physically at once, and I want to be better at that. An example of this I just recently experienced is that I had on Kindle The Afterlife of Holly Chase. It's over there, I forgot to bring it. And I need to read it for a readathon, so obviously I didn't buy a physical copy. And then I just read it and I was like, oh my god, I absolutely love it. And then I went and ordered a physical copy. And now when I look at it, I'm like, oh god, I know I really, really love that book and I'm gonna keep it. And I feel like having that experience just like once was like really good. And there are others I read on Kindle that I haven't bought yet. And I feel like that should, like, I have it on my wish list, etc. But I feel like that should tell me that maybe the reason I haven't bought them yet is because, yes, I enjoyed it at the time, but it's not something I feel like I need to own physically. And that's okay. Like, I still read it. I still have it tracked on Goodreads or whatever, but I don't need to keep it on my shelves. I want to be better at reading digitally, using my library, and try to read things that I'm unsure about before purchasing them. Try to buy less randomly and buy everything that I read. Like, basically, now I buy all my books. Everything I read, I buy, basically. Almost everything, at least like 95% of what I read I buy, but I would like to get that number a bit lower. Obviously I would still keep buying my favorites, etc., and like all that, but just be better. The thing that makes me stressed about this part is that I'm very easily forgettable of books. Like, I forget a book exists if I don't see it visually. So then I feel like I would just add it somewhere and be like, okay, I will read that and I will get a Kindle one day, and then I will literally forget it exists because I don't have like the visual reminder all the time. But like when I look at my shelves right now, I see, okay, I need to read this. Actually, when I remember like this, The Girls I've Been, this is a really good example. I think Eric recommended it to me from Breaking Me Books. I bought it like the week after. And I would literally forget he ever mentioned it if I hadn't bought it. But now I'm like, do I need to buy this? This is an example. I have many different examples here in this video. Did I need to buy this? I could have probably maybe gotten the Kindle, listened to the audiobook, see if the like ebook was available at Everand, because now I'm like, but what if I really love it? Then I already have it. But I feel like it's a book that I can feel just okay about, but I didn't necessarily need to own it. But now since I already bought it, I'm not going to get rid of it. So like, I'm stuck in this loop thing where like, I have this thing like, oh my god, okay, yeah, I liked it. And then I instantly buy it. But I didn't need to buy it. I probably didn't need to buy this either. And obviously there are books I would keep forever. There's books that I would never unhaul. I have a big collection of special editions that I won't let go of. If I haul more other books, I will be able to have more room for special editions, which is the whole idea. And also just realize that I have a very hard time letting go of hardcovers because I spent more money on those. Need to realize it's okay to let go of hardcovers. I have an easier time letting go of paperbacks. And I have a very much easier time to let go of things that I own for a really long time, like 10 plus years. But a thing that I bought yesterday, I have a really good example. I got this Vagabonds for Backathon, and I realized that I didn't need to buy this. I was going to listen to the audiobook anyway. Why did I buy it? If I loved it, I could have bought it, but I didn't love it. I thought it was very confusing and weird, and in theory, I should unhaul this now. I like that I talk about my character developments that I'm going to unhaul, and then I don't actually do it. But now since I just bought it, I won't be able to unhaul it probably in like 5 years. Because they're like, but I just spent the money. And I'm like, why did I buy you? Why? Why did I buy this? I don't know. Because I was like, oh my god, I need to buy it because I'm going to read it for Backathon. But I was going to read it anyway. I don't understand, you know? And I'm like, but I didn't need to keep it because it's not something I think I will reread. And here's another thing that I have a fear for. This is really a mess, but it's fine. Is that I'm scared I will unhaul something and then it disappears forever. Like, I'm scared because in my head, things disappear. Like physical copies disappear after a while, depending on the popularity of the books. Obviously, some books will be in print forever, but some books do disappear. I won't be able to get a hold of anymore, and I'm scared that I won't haul it. And then in a few years, that thing is like super popular, or like I want to reflect upon it again and read it, and I can't get a hold of it anymore, or I need to buy it again, and then I already spent the money like 4 years ago. And I have this thing of like, when I already spend it, I don't want to spend it again. So I have this fear that like, oh my god, why did I not hold this? Because I need it now, you know? And now it's gone. Especially some like less popular things that I feel like will disappear. I'm like scared of letting those go because in my head they will not be able to get a hold of later. But I think I need to let that fear go. I think I need to realize that there are some books I won't reread. Especially like the especially forgettable ones. Are the ones I probably get rid of first, and I will see if I can step up to like, we shall see. I can't explain it. Well, summarize once again. Better at reflecting upon what I buy. Try more digitally. And start unhauling more. Which is fun for you guys. I guess it's a entertainment for you. I had some notes. Again, I have this fear of regret later, but I feel like it will be okay eventually. Obviously, some things won't count in this. Like manga, I'm probably going to keep forever, even though I realize that after a while there will be too much manga to keep. Maybe if I really dislike a series, I might unhaul it years later. But manga is the things that do actually go away, and it's hard to get hold of if the series is not like super popular. They do disappear. So those I am more like hesitant to get rid of. Now we can talk about the Unhaul project, which is basically, it's not an original name or anything like that. Several booktubers have the same name. But basically, I reflected upon my shelves if I want to get rid of a lot of books. But again, I have this fear, you know, I just said that if I really like it, I got rid of it and I can't get a hold of it anymore. And I want to get rid of books that I haven't read yet and that I own for a really long time. So I want to start a vlog series where I actually read those books and then we decide if I keep or yeet. It will prompt me to actually read them instead of them lying on my shelves for 10 years. And then I will actually, you know, read off my TBR and actually maybe unhaul some books. And I feel like it's going to be really hard for me to read a book and then at once unhaul it because I'm not good with that. Not like I literally would throw it out a window. I will have a pile and then we will make a video, etc. Example of this is, for example, I have this whole series that I bought and I never completed. I think I've read the first book, to be honest, and it was okay. Another thing, I should stop buying whole series before I actually read the first one and see if I actually like it. Because I do like to complete my series, but if I, for example, read the first one and I'm like, okay, I don't want to own this, I can still read the rest of the series, for example, digitally, but I don't need to buy the whole series physically. That is just a problem. So yeah, there's another like, I want to complete this, and I probably won't keep them, but I don't want to unhaul them until I have read the whole series. And I have this fear that I would really, really love the rest of it, and then unhaul. Like, for example, Pop War, I gave 3 stars the first time I read it. And then I read the rest, and now it's my favorite series of all time. So like, I need to read the whole thing before getting rid of it, okay? So yeah, this is an example of a thing that will be in my whole project. I have other good examples, like Ash Princess. I have the first book off. I don't have the rest. I would like to find them at the library and then read, obviously, this one and all the rest. Will I keep this then? That will be judging the vlog. I have other examples, like Circle of Shadows. I didn't like this. I actually really hated it. But I don't want to get rid of, like, pretty hardcover. Look, this is my problem. Until I read the second book to actually know, is the second one that's bad. I had always planned to buy the second book and be like, I'm gonna keep this. But now I'm like, why would I keep this? It was terrible. But I'm still going to read the second book to be 100% sure. And then, as I said, I forget what I read if I don't own it. So I don't want to get rid of it until I read a second book, because then I will literally forget that I ever read it. Other people would just DNF a series, but I like to, like, know for sure if everything is terrible. The same with, like, Ace of Spades. I really didn't like this one. I always plan to buy the rest of the trilogy, but now I might just borrow the rest in the library and then judge if I want to keep. Another note is that I really struggle with getting rid of really popular things. Like, really struggle. Like Hellllooooo by Stephanie Garber. They are so pretty. I read the first one, I didn't really love it. And I do have the second one. And I want to read that. And then I will borrow the third probably, and probably get rid of them unless, like, the second and third one is amazing. But I honestly did not like them. But these are something I struggle a lot with, like, looking at them, because they're very pretty books. They are hardcores I spent a lot of money on. Looking at them is very difficult for me to be like, okay, I'm going to just get rid of them. And Yeah, but look at how much space they take. I'm gonna have so much more space because getting, you know. But they have been popular for years. I have other good examples like these. Why did I buy these? I have like now the 3 first ones in series. And I could have definitely just read these digitally. I did not need to own them physically. But I got very affected, which I should talk more about as well, of what is popular. Because I work in a bookstore and a library and I see things getting bought all the time, and it affects me so much. I'm like, okay, now I need to get it because I sold so many of this is probably really good, and then I bought them, and I need to just learn that maybe I should have read them on Kindle. But actually I enjoyed the first one, but I feel like it's not the kind of series that I needed to own. But now since I bought them, I'm gonna own it, and I'm probably not gonna get rid of it because it's popular. And then I also work at the library. I get very effective seeing what is very popular of Norwegian books. I'm very tempted to buy them because, again, I work in the bookstore, I get discount. But I feel like I need to realize that these are Norwegian books. I can literally get them in a library, and if I really love them, I can buy them afterwards. So yeah, I'm trying to learn and reflect upon myself. Hard to get rid of popular books, hard to get rid of pretty books. Like, another example is First Law by George Abercrombie. I haven't been enjoying a single book in that series. I probably won't unhaul it because it's a popular fantasy book. But that is also one that I might reread later in time, so that is my also excuse. But I'm like, other people would just get rid of it, but I'm like, no, I need to keep it forever. And then also, I have a hard time with other things as well. Like, I will tell you, I really, really loved, contemporary in this time, and I have so many good memories of these. But in a way, I feel like I changed a lot to, like, in theory, should get rid of them. But they have so many, like, good memories with, and I struggle with the nostalgia of looking at something and being like, oh, but in this period of this time, I was there, and I should keep them. But obviously, though, I feel like Simon is a good one that I'm probably not going to get rid of. But in the era I am in my life right now, I feel like they don't fit my reading taste as much. But at the same time, since I changed that much since that area, I might change later again. What if I change back and then I got rid of a lot of books I enjoyed? But I'm gonna keep Simon. That was just an example. Oh, another good example. They were right here. I just want to show you off. Is Hellllooooo. It's so popular. I read this, and I didn't enjoy either of them. And I will probably read this as well. I should get rid, right? I should not keep. They should eat, but since she's popular, I'm like, no, I need to keep them, but she's popular. But I feel like these are not gonna actually disappear. So if I really want to buy them later, it was easy. Actually, I'm taking them in my whole pie right now. I did not like them. Why would I keep them? You know what? That was character development happening right in front of your face. Other things, actually, a lot of the things here I actually want to keep. But there's a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have bought in the first place, and I have a hard time getting rid of. I don't count special edition in this. And look out for the Unhaul project. I have an easier time letting go of things that has been a long time since. But I should also be better at just getting rid of things that, even though I bought them yesterday and I read it and I absolutely did not like it, it is okay to get rid of that too. Oh my god, like this. Why did I buy The Love Hypothesis? Actually, I enjoyed it. But I feel like I'm never going to read it again. But since it's popular, I'm keeping it. But should I? Like, this is a book that I should not keep. But it's popular, so I'm going to keep it. Or should I put it in my own whole pile? Like, it's actually a really good example. Why did I buy it? I could have bought it at a library. But it's like, I'm affected by what's popular. And, like, fantasy series as well. Like, I'm trying to come up with, like, a good one that I, like, didn't love. Oh, like, Kingdom of the Wicked. I really hated that. I wanted to haven't read 3 yet. But I'm going to probably keep those. It's easier for me to keep fantasy series. Oh, I should get rid of them. I really should. That was a really good example, actually, of a series I should get rid of. So yeah, I have many examples. I have things that I will keep forever that I really enjoyed, even though, like, I didn't end up loving it. Inheritance Games is a good example of that. Like, I loved the first book. I didn't love the whole series, but I had such a good time with it, and I could imagine myself rereading it. So I'm keeping it, and so many other things, like Christmas Wish I bought for a readathon, and like, it's the Walmart movie. Like, do I need this? Probably not, My camera is dying, so there's that. My point is that I'm trying to go forward with a new mindset. You're probably going to see still a lot of hauls from me, but I'm going to try to do the unhauls as well and just try to navigate my book buying better. I'm going to also try to buy a little bit less books because I bought 60 books in January and that was too much. But I'm going to keep rolling and just be more reflective so that I can keep the one that I actually want to keep and be better at saying that I definitely didn't need that book. I also have a long backlist of books that I really want to own but I haven't bought yet. Probably like things I read when I was younger. That is also nostalgia reasons. But I should also reflect upon like, do I actually need to buy it? Oh, Gossip Girl is a good example. I was always planning to buy Gossip Girl, and I'm like, why? Like the books, Pretty Large is a good example. I was always going to buy those, and I'm like, why? Probably won't buy them. But Tripaholic is a series that I have the first one of, but I want to buy the rest that I really loved. And I'm like, yes, I should get to those. So everyone with more space going backwards than just buying new and fresh and popular and keep everything. Yeah, you should be proud. I'm proud. I'm gonna go. My battery is dying. What are your thoughts on all of all of what I said? Are you proud of me? Do you agree? Because I feel like I met other people where I said I was gonna start like being more reflective, that are younger than me maybe, or like in another area of book buying. Me a few years ago, and they were like, "You're gonna get rid of books? What? I want to keep all the books." And I was like, well, you probably don't have 2,000 books, do you? And they were like, oh, I only have a 200. You're not on the state yet where I am, where it's like you realize that shit, I bought a lot of books. I love books. I'm gonna keep buying them. I'm gonna keep so many, don't you worry. But I should be more reflective. Oh my god, like this. I really didn't like it. Do I need it? Would I ever reread it? Probably not. Whew. I already feel better. Look, here's a bunch of old YA. My Life Next Door that I bought. This should go in a whole project. I haven't actually gone through these shelves yet, which is why I saw so many I want to get rid of right now. Like, I should read this so I can get rid of it. I know that you agree with me. Oh my god, the pile just turned so big. But yeah, look out for more videos. I hope you enjoyed this reflective, chatty shit thing. And I'm gonna go because my battery's dying. Leave a thumbs up and more down below if you enjoyed this, because we are thumbing up my unhauling and you should see me soon in a new one. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your thoughts down below of how I could do this and more boost of like being able to let things go, especially nostalgia gets in the way a lot. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and you should see me soon in a new one. Thank you so much. I said that like 4 times. Goodbye.